Hey guys, Zeramus555 here, just coming to you with a deck profile of my Inzektors. This is probably what I'm going to be running for regionals, but it's probably going to be changing a bit. I'm going to be messing around with some stuff, still testing. Inzektor's is just a really good meta deck right now, anti-meta deck. It's got a great matchup versus the Evil Swarm deck, which is going to be coming out the day before the regionals, so I decided I wanted to be as prepared for as possible. This is just because, obviously, the deck doesn't have any special summons for monsters higher than level 5, except for, of course, the Dark Arm Dragon. But it just has so much popping power, and you can get bad hands, but I mean, overall, it's pretty consistent. I only have one Cardcar D at the moment, as you can see, but I do have a second one coming in the mail, thanks to Dave, aka Dark Yuma, if you guys know him on Dueling Network. But yeah, so I'm gonna have a second Cardcar D. I'm probably gonna take out the Insect Imitation for it. I don't know, just more and more testing with that card, it's okay. Like, I was running 2, but it's really bad if you don't draw it with, like, Ladybug. That's really the only card it's actually good with, is with Ladybug. A lot of times I open, like, Centipede Ladybug, and you just don't even need the Insect Imitation, and then after that it's dead. So I'm just running the 1 right now. I was going to run a 41 card deck, and just keep it in, and throw in the Cardcar D, but I was just thinking about it, I'm like, you know what, you really don't need it, and I mean, the deck's just consistent without it, so I'm just going to take it out. But anyways, without further ado, I'm just going to go through the cards and tell you guys my choices and why I'm running them. So we have 1 Dark Arm Dragon, 3 Centipede. I do have 3 Supers. I'm waiting for the other one in the mail from eBay. 3 Ladybug, obviously. 1 Dragonfly. 1 Hornet. Now, I'm just going to say, whenever I go off, like, Centipede, Ladybug, turn 1, if I have a way to protect that Centipede, I'm always just going to put its level up by 1, so I can use that search next turn and put it up to level 5, because you want to essentially have it at level 5 so you can do some rank plays with it. But if not, I always just put it up to level 2. It doesn't really matter. But usually the first thing I'm always searching for is Dragonfly. I don't really care about the Hornet. I mean, Hornet is really important, but you want to get to the Dragonfly first. And if you can keep that Centipede alive, then you're going to go and search out the Hornet afterwards, and then you're going to go into your combo pieces. 1 Giga-Mantis, 2's bad. 1 Hopper. I tried out 2, it was just too much. Even with double Insect Imitation, you know, you contribute, like, it's not bad. Like, you contribute, like, Centipede and Dragonfly, and you know, you contribute any monster, essentially. You contribute Tour Guide if something went wrong, and special summon the Hopper from the deck. But the problem with that is that Hopper doesn't really do anything by himself. He just lets me kind of, you know, put a Hornet on him and pop 1 card or something. It's just not really that good. The reason I run him, and he has a bunch of weird rulings too. Like, the reason I don't like 2 is, like, you open up him and Centipede turn 1, and obviously you can't, you know, you can't use his effect turn 1 because you can't attack the same turn. There's other weird rulings, like you can't use him in main phase 2. This is because your battle phase has already occurred. So that monster, even though the battle phase has been into it, it could have already attacked or something. I don't know. It's a weird ruling. And I just don't really like the card all that much, so I just think 1's a good number. It's just there for 1 more target to add to your hand. It gives me another thing to add to my hand to banish for, like, you know, Allure of Darkness. And overall, it's a good card. It's really only there for, like, making Shockmaster, honestly. Or, you know, you just summon it with, like, Dragonfly and you put its level up by 1. It gives you another monster for doing rank 5 plays, so... 2 Tour Guide, this card's awesome in this deck, just because obviously your stuff's going to be getting banished. It just basically, you know, gives you some stall with Zen mains, or you can do Levier plays. You do have to be a little careful with Zen mains now because, of course, the Black Ship is out, but, I mean, it's still a great card. Like I said, I'm going to be running 2 Cardcar Ds, so pretend there's 2 there. Now, I wasn't running Gorz, but I talked to a guy on Facebook who top 32 regional in New York over last weekend when the... YCS San Diego was going on, and he recommended this to me. This was in his build, and he said he threw it in as the 41st card, and he says just put in work all weekend. And I noticed a lot of times, like, I'm not running Max C anymore, but, you know, even without the Threatening Roars, if you don't, or with the Threatening Roars, if you don't draw them, you can get OTK really easily. So just having that Gorz, and people just don't expect it either. They're just like, what? Inzektors don't run Gorz. And I mean, the fact that I'm only running 2 Call the Haunteds, sorry for the glare, I think also kind of gives leeway to why I'm you know, sometimes you're going to get stuck in the field, but you can always just pop it. I mean, people see Call the Haunted and Gorz in the same deck, like, ew, that's bad, but, I mean, it's only at 2, I don't draw all that often, and Very rarely do I do XYZ plays with it. I'm usually going to bring back a Centipede, pop something, Hornet, or, get a Search or something. If it dies, whatever. But, yeah, Gorz is just really good. Two swords, three's bad, one's not enough. I haven't seen anyone ever run one, but I've seen a few people run three, and I just think that's overkill. You need the dualities, obviously, for consistency. This is my kind of card I added in, Upstart Goblin. Now, it's been testing fantastic. He was running it as well, and we were talking about it. And there's just like, what else am I going to run? Like, I could run more traps, but it's not getting me to this stuff faster, which is what I want. And I mean, essentially, before I was running the insect imitations, and it gets me to, those guys faster as well. But the problem with it is that, once again, insect imitation requires you have Ladybug for it to actually be good. If they negate it or warning it as well, you go -1, which I'm also not a big fan of. And yes, I mean, Upstart does kind of conflict with your OTKs, because most of your OTKs are just over 8,000. But essentially, it's not a huge deal. This is just because usually you're going to be getting some little pokes with Centipede before you go for the kill. And in most cases, you just, basically you're running a 38 card deck, and it's basically like Samurai's, with one gateway, essentially. It's just like, you want to get to these cards as quickly as possible. Essentially that one, the more so than anything else. But, Hornet's obviously good to get to because you can pop with anything, but these are just so good because they just thin the deck out. And I've had so many games, like I duality one game into Upstart, played Upstart, drew into another Upstart, played that Upstart, Pot went up to I don't know, 83 or something. He took some damage from some cards, or 84, I think it was 84. And I actually played the second one, and I drew into Dark Arm Dragon. I set Threatening Roar, waited a turn, and then I just went off, dropped the Dark Arm, and I OTK'd him. I had a feel of Dark Arm, Shadow Ninja, bunch of stuff. It was just crazy. And I just like it. It just thins the stuff out, and it just gets the things faster. So 3 MST, you have to run 3 this format, and I love this card in this deck because even if you're playing a deck that doesn't run a lot of back rows, it's still fantastic because you can use it to pop your own Giga-Mantis. You can use it to if you have a bad hand, you can go Centipede, equip Dragonfly, or equip anything, and then you just MST it, and you get off the search. Or the same thing with Dragonfly, you get a special, and then you can special Hornet and overlay for Zen mains, and then your whole deck starts flowing. One card I tried in here and I didn't really like it, some people are going to probably ask, is Pot of Avarice. Some games, you're like, oh man, I wish I had Avarice to fuel everything back in, but a lot of times, you test it and you draw it so early. And it's just really not that great at the moment. I don't know, I'm kind of losing faith in Avarice unless you're running a really derpy fast deck. Heavy Storm, you have to run it, just great card, helps you go off. So here's all my one-of spells. So we're running 1 Lance. It's just good for protecting your stuff against, Bottomless, especially Bottomless, because you want to protect that Centipede, and obviously the Dark Arm Dragon as well. 1 Allure of Darkness is really good in here, and then the Insect Imitation is obviously going to be coming out for the Cardcar. Foolish Burial is staple in here because you want to dump Hornet or Ladybug so you can start going off. Monster Reborn Dark Hole. I don't run Book of Moon. I do like Book of Moon right now a lot. I think it's good, but you just don't have room for it. So Traps. MVP of the Trap lineup is Threatening Roar. This card is awesome. You open up with a Cardcar D, and basically you just set the T-Roar, summon the Cardcar D, tribute it, draw 2 cards, and you're safe. You're fine. Unless you get some burn deck against you or something. It's just great. And even if they don't try and go off that turn and say they just summon one little monster and just do a poke, you're going to save the Threatening Roar. You're going to summon an Inzektor next turn, do your plays. They're going to do their stuff, try and get over your Inzektor monster, and then you're just going to be whoop, Threatening Roar. And it's just so good because it just basically protects you, because your main toolbox cards, are obviously, these 5 cards here. So if you can protect them for long enough or just get them going, the whole deck just starts rolling and you win. 2 calls. I still like calling here, even without saying it. And you can see I'm not running Card Trooper. Card Trooper is bad now. It is not a good card. I don't care what anybody says. This deck doesn't have a problem with Thunder King because you just summon Centipede, a quick Ladybug, and he goes up to 21. You just run over Thunder King. You don't need Card Trooper to crash. It's just bad. You mill 3 cards. Look how many freaking spells and traps I'm running. All you ever do is you just mill your good cards. You're going to mill your swords. You're going to mill your, flipping calls, and it's just so bad. I played so many games, and once in a blue moon you're going to mill the Hornet. You're going to be like, yes, that's a great mill, but then a lot of times you're going to mill all those power cards like your Dark Arm Dragon and whatever else, and it's just so frustrating. It's not worth it just trying to mill 1 card. It's just not worth running it. And right now it dies to so many decks. Water just going to take advantage of you going Card Trooper mill 3. Oh man, instead of Bottomless, and they're just gonna be like MST, OTK you. Fire Fist, obviously, are just gonna, summon their bear and just run you over and get a plus, and then just plus and plus and plus, and it's just not a good card. Don't run Card Trooper, it's bad. Two Bottomless, because it's staple right now. I say in any deck that runs traps. It's just good against all the top meta decks. And Warning Judgment. I was skeptical about these, but more and more when I'm testing, like, it's bad versus random decks like Heroes and stuff, but if you can time a Judgment properly, it wins games. It's just so good. I won a game the other day just by dropping Gorz, and then I think I had, how much? I had 3,000 life points left. I set Warning Judgment, and the guy, like, summoned something, I Warning, and then he tried to, like, do something else, and I Judgment, and he just scooped. And I mean, if you time it properly, you can win games with them. So, anyways, guys, that's the deck. The extra deck's nothing too special. It's just your typical like gotchi, all the good rank threes. I run Maestroke and Shockmaster, and then I run all the good fives, and then Gaia Dragon. So, anyways, yeah, it's running really well. I'm loving this deck right now. It's just a great meta call, and if you know how to play it properly, you can win on a consistent basis. So anyways, thanks for watching, guys. If you have any comments, feel free to post down below. Other than that, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll talk to you guys later. Peace!